This is One-on-One. You're looking at the beautiful and talented Gretchen Reynolds, author of The First 20 Minutes and New York Times phys ed columnist. Good to see you.
Thanks for having me here.
The First 20 Minutes, surprising science reveals how we can exercise better, train smarter, live longer. First of all, I love the title.
Thank you very much.
Where did it come from and why did you do the book?
The book is meant to be essentially a look at what we know about the human body, and particularly why it's so important for the human body to be in motion, to be moving. And how can we do that well? How can we fit it into our lives? How can we be better physically? And one of the most interesting things that science is telling us is that you get most of the benefits of being active in the first 20 to maybe 30 minutes of activity. You'll get more if you do more, but the curve flattens out. So if you can only do 20 minutes of anything, walking, running, gardening, you will get enormous health benefits in that period of time. You'll start to lower your risk for all the big chronic diseases, diabetes, heart disease, dementia, and you will become more fit, even in a really short period of time. So that's the message. You don't have to do a lot, do something.
Okay, so here we go. I felt the need to, as you sat down here, and I was not saying it just because of your position at the New York Times or the book, but I said to you, I don't think I could do this. We do a lot of shows, let's just say, in 2 days back to back, without working out and doing what I do physically. I don't think I could. But I know that lots of people will tell me they don't work out because they don't have the time. So I'm listening to you talk about the 20 minutes, and I'm thinking, really? You don't have the 20 minutes? Or is it that people don't realize that it is 20 minutes?
One thing people should realize is even 20 minutes, the science is showing us very persuasively, break that into smaller segments. Do 10 minutes twice a day, and it seems that you will get most, at least of the health benefits. You will have less risk of obesity, which is a big, obviously huge health problem. You will have less risk of heart disease and diabetes if you can walk for 10 minutes 2 or 3 times a day. Go up and down the stairs more often. It does all accumulate if you just do anything.
Okay, let's go through this. Numbers. Because we were talking about working out. You said, oh. I said, 45 million Americans exercise. You said, yeah, but 200 million plus do not.
A third of Americans get no exercise at all.
Zero, none.
Zero. And beyond that, not only do they not deliberately exercise, they really barely move. They will sit for 10, 11 hours a day. And that is phenomenally unhealthy and unnatural for the human body. Our genome really was built back in the hunter-gatherer days, and they found it's changed almost not at all. And back then, if you didn't move, you either you didn't eat or you got eaten. So we were built to be moving, not necessarily running marathons. You don't have to do that level in order to be healthy. But if you don't move at all, then so many unhealthy physiological changes occur. And that's when we start getting this really increasing incidence of diabetes, the big diseases.
The bad stuff.
Yeah, exactly, the really bad stuff.
Let's bust some myths, okay? All right. Cardio, weights.
Both.
Oh, thanks a lot.
Yes, I know that. But you can do some of that. Say you need endurance. You need to be able to keep moving, and that's
Work the
endurance,
heart.
right? But you also do need strong muscles, and you want to make sure your muscles are healthy, especially as we get a little older, because you do start to lose muscle mass, and that really is, for many of us, the beginning of frailty. That's the beginning of actually being old. You can stop that. you can dramatically reduce the amount of muscle mass that you'll lose if you do some resistance training. That means do push-ups. You don't have to go to the gym. You don't have to buy expensive equipment. You own a body. It weighs
Right.
something. You can do push-ups, do squats. That's all the
No
weight
weight.
work. You don't
Use your
have
body
to.
weight.
Exactly. Do it when you have 5 minutes in the office. It's not that difficult. That will preserve muscle mass. Then go for a walk. That's still, you can do all of that in 30 minutes at most and be truly much healthier than if you just say, I don't have time to do anything.
Can you give me 30 seconds on the stretching stuff? Myth, what? Before, after? Because I will stretch a little bit before, and then after, I'm like, okay, I got to get to the studio or I'm going to be late again.
Swap them.
Okay.
There's actually really good science that static stretching, which is what most of us think of when we do stretching, where you reach for your toes, you hold that position, that actually is counterproductive to athletic performance. It makes the brain think you're going to overstretch that muscle.
Static.
It tightens it. Yes, don't do that before you exercise. If you like stretching, do it afterwards. Do a little bit of warm-up before you exercise, just to literally get your muscles warm.
Okay, stay right here. Hey, Bob, zoom down a little bit. Can you do this? Can you get this shot or not? You can't get this shot? Okay. So I'm trying to loosen up because I got the hamstring problem and the hip
Right.
problem. Okay, you know, you're like,
Yes,
ha,
yes.
so who doesn't? Okay, so I'm trying to loosen up and I do this and I'm leaning down. Am I helping?
No.
Oh, stop. What is
And
everything I do a myth?
It's keeping me employed, debunking all the myths.
That's why you're with the New York Times.
Exactly.
Okay, go ahead. I thought this is,
What happens, or what they're finding happens, is the brain really does think that you are about to overstretch and injure that muscle, and it appears that it sends a neurological message
Does
that
it say
actually
stop?
Yes, that tightens the muscle. It's better if you're going to, say, run, jog for a few minutes. Do something
To loosen up.
Exactly, and literally warm up the tissues. And that seems to actually be better for your joints. It gives you better range of motion. And then you're going to be less likely to injure yourself. Do the stretching afterwards or some other time during the day.
You write in the book about chocolate milk and Gatorade. Why? And what is the question, by the way, Georgette? She wants to know, do we go with chocolate milk and Gatorade?
They serve two completely different functions. Gatorade, if you are going for longer than an hour, if you're exercising vigorously for more than an
Yes.
hour, not walking, you will use up almost all the fuel in your muscles. That's when you need Gatorade, a sports
Yes.
drink, during the exercise. It will allow you to keep going.
Afterwards, I'm doing my Gatorade.
Afterwards, chocolate milk. Chocolate milk
I'm
is
screwed up.
scientifically proven.
Chocolate milk.
This is one of my favorite scientific studies because it justifies what I was going to do anyway. Again, if you have exercised for at least an hour, then you've not only used up the fuel in your muscles, but you have slightly damaged the muscle. That's the point,
Chocolate
actually, of exercising. You need protein as well as carbohydrates.
We're going to go off the air, and we're going to have chocolate milk after this. Thank you, Gretchen.
This special edition of One-on-One with Steve Adubato is brought to you from the Tisch WNET studios at Lincoln Center. Funding has been provided by Hackensack University Medical Center, Bloomfield College, offering small classes and big opportunities since 1868, New Jersey Manufacturers Insurance Group, auto insurance, homeowners insurance, and banking under the principle of stewardship, and by Verizon Communications. Promotional support provided by The Record, North Jersey's trusted source, and NorthJersey.com. Transportation provided by Airbrook Limousine, serving the metropolitan New York, New Jersey area. One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been produced in partnership with St. Joseph's Healthcare System.